Greetings to my respected elders, my brothers and my sisters, and to all those who are not yet believers. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, all praise belongs to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. We send blessings and peace upon the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all of his followers until the day of recompense. My dear respected brothers and sisters, especially my dear sisters, in this case, this advice video goes to you, especially if you are married or looking to become married. Understand that what a husband or a potential husband is looking for and values most as a quality in his wife is, number one, fear and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as a result of that love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring to fruition your respect and agreeableness with your husband. The last thing that a brother wants to do is go out and face the world and deal with the problems that he has to deal with, and then come home and have an argumentative wife. Okay? It's not to say that you can't have your own opinion. Your opinions are valid. But as the protector and provider and maintainer of women, ultimately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given decision-making ability to men, husbands, fathers, etc. You have to look at it like this, okay? If you are a non-Muslim and you are dressing in an inappropriate fashion and your man tells you, don't dress that way, don't dress that way, and then you go to leave the house, your man already knows why he doesn't want you to dress that way. It's not only because it gains the unwanted stares and attention of other men, but it's also because it places him into a position where he may have to get physical or be involved in a physical altercation with somebody else due to their disrespectful comments, due to their disrespectful glares or glances, or maybe even trying to physically catch a feel, something along those lines. So ultimately, when you are with a man, Muslim, or if you're a Muslim sister or a non-Muslim, it doesn't matter. If you're with a man, then and that is your husband, then you are ultimately placing a bit of responsibility onto him, but you're placing trust in him as well. You're saying, you know what, I trust you to be able to defend us given a particular situation should occur. I trust your judgment. I trust your strength to protect us, so on and so forth. And as such, you place him, in a position of authority. While he's in that position of authority, you have to respect that position of authority. You can't give him the authority, the responsibility of the authority, without obeying the authority. That's counterintuitive. That's counterproductive to what you're trying to accomplish, and exactly counterproductive to what he's trying to accomplish, which ultimately is to keep you protected and to keep yourself, to keep your dignity and your honor protected, so on and so forth. So you got to really consider these things when you choose a potential husband. It's not just about how much money the brother makes. There are qualities of leadership that are required in order to maintain or be a good captain of the ship. But a good captain could only be a good captain if his shipmates who work under him are willing to submit to his authority and his command and his control of that ship. Think of it this way. If you are somebody's boss at work, you go to work every day and you give out your orders Okay, I want you to go do this today. I want you to go do that today. This will be your job, and this will be that'll be your job, so on and so forth. All right, you go to work and do that. Imagine every day that you go and do that, and you got 1 or 2 employees who always got something to say. But I don't want to do that today. But that's supposed to be so-and-so's job. But this and that and this and that. Anything to be argumentative. That's the type of situations that I'm talking about that you have to strive to avoid and strive to be better than if you expect to have a better than average type of relationship, marriage, so on and so forth. You know, we want these great marriages, we want these great relationships, right? But are we willing to do what it takes in order to have them? Because if we're given exactly what the disbelievers, the kafiroon, if we're given exactly what the hypocrites are given, then we can expect the same results as what the hypocrites and the disbelievers are gaining, right? You know, if you go to work and you do a halfway job, man, you just don't care. You're all the time standing around talking, etc., etc. Chances are you're probably not going to make it very far in your career. Or if you go to college and you never turn in your homework, you don't attend class, you know, you're busy in the class talking, texting, on your Facebook, or Fitnagram, all that kind of stuff. Guess what kind of results you're going to get? You're going to get bad results. You shouldn't expect to have the same type of grade that your classmate has who is putting in the full effort, doing their homework, turning in assignments on time. Whenever they have the ability to make up quizzes that they did poorly on, you know, they're asking for those opportunities. Hey, can I please make that quiz up? They're showing initiative. It's the same thing within a marriage and in a relationship, sisters. If you want the results of a good husband, then you have to be willing to be and have the characteristics of a good wife. Okay? So, again, that's not a shot trying to say that, you know, sisters should be downtrodden or y'all should just shut up and do what you're told all the time, etc., etc. Ultimately, you have to respect that the leadership and the man as the protector and the provider as ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not something that's negotiable. This is not negotiable. You don't get to just pick and choose what it is that you follow, okay? That's no better than the Christians who say, well, brother, I eat pork because that's in the Old Testament. The prohibition on pork is in the Old Testament, not the New Testament. Okay, well, if we use that logic, so is thou shalt not commit murder. Thou shalt not, you know what I'm saying? All these different things are in the Old Testament. So should we just disregard them as well? No. So we can't cherry pick from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, cherry pick the Quran and say, well, I believe this, but I don't believe that. Part of the very fabric of La ilaha illallah is believing in all of it as one and submission to, right? We covered this in an earlier video of exactly what La ilaha illallah means, or exactly what testifying La ilaha illallah means. There is a certain level of submission and acting in accordance with those beliefs that comes along with that testimony of faith. It's not just about the words we say, it's about the actions that we do and we follow through with. Brothers, the same can be said for you. You cannot act in a tyrannical manner and be one of those leaders or rulers of your ship that every time there's a small mistake made, oh, it's man overboard, throw him off, make him walk the plank, so to speak. And for those of y'all don't know what walk the plank means, that's a reference to what the pirates used to do whenever they would have shipmates who would act up, who would step out of line, who would break the rules, etc., etc. They would just make them walk the plank, which was hung off the side of the ship, and then jump into the ocean. They would be rid of the problem. You cannot make them walk the plank over every small inconvenience or imperceived slight or perceived slight against you. All right. That's not to say that you should stand for back talking and all kinds of high-handedness and disrespect. No, that's not exact. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. All right. But you can rule with love rather than fear. A ruler who rules with love, the people who are ruled by him they will lay down their life for him, because he is a just ruler. But the one who rules with the iron fist and rules with tyranny and fear and oppression, that ruler he won't actually be respected. He'll be feared. He won't be loved. He'll be feared. And as such, your results will be totally different. You'll build a sense of resentment. They will build a sense of resentment in their heart for you as a leader. And whenever that happens, it's just a matter of time before that powder keg blows, and then all of a sudden there is mutiny on the ship. And you don't want mutiny. You don't want them throwing the captain overboard or choosing another captain, right? And you can't blame the family members, the wife or the family, if they decide to throw the captain overboard, brothers. If you're not ruling properly, and this is a issue that's been approached in a Islamic way and in an Islamic fashion, maybe they've even taken you to counseling for this type of stuff. You may be at the last straw. So you can't get mad at them for deciding, hey, look, man, he just ain't going to listen. He just ain't going to comply with how he rules over us. Now, that doesn't mean that sisters either need to be trying to manipulate their husbands into getting their own way. All right? Usually, we as men have a logical thought process that we think things out long term. We try our best to give long-term thoughts to problems, and we try to see 2 to 3 moves or more ahead of whatever the situation may be. And we do that in order to try to protect ourselves, to protect our Islam, to protect our family, to protect your safety, protect our marriage, to protect your dignity, to protect our pride. There is a lot of things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave men that pride for a reason. It's kind of like the protective jealousy that a man has that prevents him from being a dayuth. May Allah protect us all from being dayuths and just allowing whatever type of exposure of our women folk that they think that they need to do based on whatever the society around them is preaching. There's agendas being thrown at you all the time. There's who you are, and then there's who you want to be perceived as. There's your image, and then there's who you actually are. And what happens is these outside influences will try to hit your image and try to change who you actually are at a fundamental level. So then your fundamental person, your fundamental essence as a Muslim believer, as a Muslim who submits wholeheartedly and follows all the rules and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it ends up being changed and altered to meet this image that society has projected that they think you need to be. So it's food for thought for y'all to keep in mind, inshallah. Please remember to like and subscribe. Send this content to anybody that you think may benefit from it, inshallah. Thank you for all the brothers and the sisters who continue to donate to the GoFundMe and the PayPal donation page for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please keep those donations coming in. Again, I gave an update yesterday on location information as far as what area of the country, what area of the state, what area of the county that I'm looking for this project to be within. So that way it can be quickly verified that there's no masjid, there's no community here that's within a reasonable driving distance. So we seek to make a reality for Muslims. And I have been assured, yes, brother, there are other Muslims in your area. I assure you that there are other Muslims. They just aren't being seen because they have nowhere to meet. So that's what we're trying to remedy with that. With the Dawah Project, well, I call it the Dawah Project. This is a goal for a Dawah Center / Masula / Masjid, a small rental space. I'm not looking to purchase anything or to build anything. I want something that's small and attainable and affordable, that's affordable for the long term, because I want to be able to sustain it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Inshallah, continue to donate to that. Share all of this that you can so that other brothers and sisters may be exposed to the dawah, and inshallah, they may be able to donate as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. None of this is possible without your help, and your du'as are greatly appreciated. Man, I read something in the comments every day. Even though if I don't have time to respond, I read something in the comments every day that touches my heart. MashaAllah. It touches my heart, and it makes me emotional to a degree that there are so many just beautiful brothers and sisters out there who are contributing to just simply the dua, man. The duas are so beautiful that come in sometimes, and the thoughtfulness and the love that goes into the du'as for me and my family, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is just beautiful. It's touching. Thank you guys so much. And I mean that from a heartfelt place. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of you and your families with peace and prosperity and protection in this life and in the next. Ameen. We send blessings and peace upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And remember, until next time, that there is one God and only one God, and He alone is worthy of worship.